The village of Ibo was nestled in a valley, surrounded by hills that rolled like the back of a great beast and dense forests that whispered secrets on the wind. The earth was rich, giving life to the crops that fed the villagers, and the sun was ever present, casting its golden glow over the thatched roof homes. In the heart of this village lived a young couple, Uzo and Nkechi, whose hearts were full of love, but whose lives lacked one thing: children. Uzo was a strong man with calloused hands from working the fields. He had inherited a small plot of land from his father, and it was the land he worked every day with dedication. Nkechi, on the other hand, was graceful and full of energy. She wove intricate baskets and crafted beautiful beads that she sold at the market, and her smile could light up even the darkest days. Their love was pure and simple, and the village often looked at them as an example of what it meant to be happy despite the challenges life brought. Yet, despite their happiness, there was a void. Their marriage had been 5 years long, and still Nkechi's womb remained empty. They had longed for a child, a sign from the ancestors that their union was blessed. But every month passed without the news they so desperately wanted. There were whispers from family members and friends offering advice, sometimes comforting, sometimes hurtful. "You will have a child soon," they would say, offering smiles full of hope. Yet behind their eyes, a trace of pity would linger. "I'm not worried," Uzo would say, holding Ankechi's hand. "Our time will come." But deep in his heart, a fear began to grow. A fear that maybe their prayers were not being heard, that maybe they were not worthy of such a blessing. Kichi too prayed often. She would sit in silence beneath the great mango tree near their hut, closing her eyes and speaking softly to the ancestors, asking for their help, for the gift of motherhood. She fasted on the days when the moon was full, hoping that the spirits would listen to her. The people in the village had faith, but at times even their hope seemed to wane as the years went by. One warm evening, as the orange light of the setting sun bathed the village, something changed. Nkechi sat by the fire, stirring a pot of yam porridge, when she felt an unfamiliar flutter in her stomach. It was soft at first, barely a whisper, but it grew, and soon she felt a sense of knowing. Her body was different. She paused, her hand stealing the spoon, and placed her other hand gently on her belly. A sensation of joy filled her heart, followed by a quiet terror. "Uzo," she called, her voice trembling slightly. I think I may be pregnant." Uso, who had been chopping firewood nearby, dropped his axe and ran to her side. He took her hand, his heart beating faster than he had ever felt before. "Are you sure, Nkechi?" "I don't know," she replied, her voice full of wonder. "But I feel it. I feel different." That evening, they went to the village healer, a woman named Mama Akuna, known for her wisdom and her deep connection with the spirits. Mama Akuna examined Nkechi carefully, her old hands moving with a precision born from years of experience. After a long moment, she smiled softly. "Your prayers have been answered, Nkechi. You carry life within you," Mama Akuna said, her voice warm. "The ancestors have heard your cries." The news spread quickly, and soon the entire village was buzzing with excitement. The drums were brought out, and songs of celebration filled the air. The people of Igbo rejoiced with Uzo and Nkechi, celebrating the miracle of new life. In African tradition, the birth of a child was a moment of great joy, a time when the community came together to share in the happiness of a family. Over the next few months, Nkechi's belly grew, and with it, her anticipation. The women of the village offered her advice and support, teaching her how to prepare for childbirth and sharing stories of their own experiences. The elders spoke of the importance of keeping the baby protected from the evil eye, warning her to be cautious with visitors and never to let just anyone touch her belly. They may mean well, the elders would say, but not everyone who comes with a smile has good intentions. Be mindful of those who seek to hold the child. As the days passed, Uzo and Nkechi made preparations for the arrival of their baby. Uzo cleared a small area near their home, building a beautiful hut where the baby would sleep. He painted it with symbols of protection, each one carefully chosen to ward off evil spirits and bring blessings from the ancestors. He even carved a small wooden figure of a lion to hang above the crib, symbolizing strength and courage. When the day finally arrived, it was a crisp morning in the dry season, and the air was thick with the promise of rain. Nkechi went into labor, and the entire village came together to support her. The women assisted her, singing songs of encouragement, while the men built a fire to keep the area warm. It was a community effort, as it always was in Igbo. And after hours of labor, Nkechi gave birth to a healthy baby girl. Uzo was by her side, holding her hand as she brought their daughter into the world. Her first cry rang through the air like a bell, and Uzo's heart swelled with pride and love. People call her Amara, Nkechi said, her voice soft and filled with wonder. It means grace, for she is our grace. The village rejoiced once more, dancing and singing around the fire. Amara's birth was not just the birth of a child, but the birth of hope. It was a reminder that even in the darkest times, life could bloom. The elders performed the blessing ceremony, calling on the ancestors to protect Amara and ensure she grew strong and healthy. Everyone took turns holding the baby, whispering prayers and blessings into her tiny ears. But amidst the joy, there was an unease that clung to Uzo's heart. His friend, Ada, a wise woman of the village, had spoken to him privately one evening. Uzo, I have seen something that troubles me, she said quietly. You and Nkechi have waited so long for this child. People will come, wanting to hold her, to bless her. But some may not have pure intentions. The spirit of jealousy can be a dangerous thing. Uzo frowned. You think someone might harm her? The next morning, Amara awoke healthy and full of life, her laughter echoing through the village. The spirits had heard their prayers. Years passed, and Amara thrived. But Uzo and Nkechi never forgot the lessons they had learned, that blessings are fragile, that even the brightest lights are often tested by darkness. They continued to protect their daughter, never forgetting the power of prayer, of community, and of the unseen forces that shape their lives. And in the heart of the village, under the protection of the hills and the watchful gaze of the ancestors, Amara grew into a strong young woman, destined to carry the legacy of love and faith that her parents had built.